Civic engagement or civic participation is any individual or group activity addressing issues of concern, of public concern. Examples, of course, include voting, volunteerism, participating in political activities, youth forums, planting trees, among other community work. Our group then, we wanted to look at what civic participation looked like for us as young people of Busia County. So what this means for us is basically involvement and inclusion of youth in both political and non-political processes within Busia County, and this could be, and not limited to, public policy making, budget process development, and actively, sio nusu nusu, yeah, and other areas of public concern that protects the interests of the youth within Busia.
Which governance areas will you want youth to be represented? Why and how? So we had to split our points into 5 categories. That is the executive, legislative, the boards, employment, and the youth advisory committee. The youth advisory committee is the same committee I think the group 1 was talking about. So basically in the legislative, we'd want to have an MCA, a youth MCA, and when we say a youth MCA representing the youth, that person should be a youth below 35 and not below 35, around 28 years of age. In the executive, we wanted to have at least 10% of the CSCs being youth, at least to be able to represent the youth interest, and also have 30% of the CEOs being the youth. Basically, that is something that has not been happening, and it will be very good and crucial in representing the youth in development.
So someone would ask, why? You know? And we went ahead and even specified. For us, effectiveness and representation ensures enough intentional and deliberate involvement of young persons aged 18 to 25 years in affirmative groups, boards, political leadership, and all other governance structures in 4 key points. Tulikuwa tunaangalia information, consultation, dialogue, and partnership. You see the way we've shortlisted, hakuna mali tunakuwa excluded, yeah? You can tell, we've specified that we want to be there all throughout the process. And there was that issue of affirmative groups where 30%, then as young people, tunakuwa tu lumped kwa ile 30% ya vulnerable people. So this is very specific. Ndio kuna affirmative action, lakini kwa hii affirmative action, it should be very deliberate and intentional to kaeka age. The importance of civic representation and participation. This will empower young persons, increase their self-determination, give them skills and confidence they need to hold the county government responsible and accountable, by also having youth dialogues and other governance structures. So for us, we felt for effective participation, there needs to be a youth advisory committee. So that you realized yesterday when we were having several discussions on Monday through Wednesday yesterday, the major thing was a lack of coordination between the county government and young persons. That was very loud, Sindio. So we felt to cater for that gap of representation, we felt the need for having a youth advisory committee, a public participation framework, and capacity building. Because we realized there are people in the room and there are things which were being mentioned here, hata tujui ni nini, Kama ile county budget nini? CBEF. I can't even remember what CBEF is in But it's okay. Like when CBEF was mentioned, tuliangaliana too. So we went into thinking, if there was capacity building, it would enhance civic participation and effective representation. So then we look at the Youth Advisory Council, which we are calling the Busia Youth Advisory Committee. And we look at its composition. Because we are developing a policy, we wanted to say, look, we are suggesting we need an advisory committee. What should it look like? What should it comprise? Who should it comprise of? And what are some of the qualifications of these young persons in this advisory committee, and what are their roles? And you will realize some of those roles will also enhance effective representation and civic participation.
So we also wanted the youth to be allocated a third of the finances in the department, because we realized again the youth are getting the smallest amount of money as a department. That makes it very difficult for them to achieve their goals and also to be able to perform very well. So we also requested that at least a third of the total amount allocated to the department be given to the youth department, so that we can be able to be represented very well. So we also, under procurement, we wanted around 30% of procurement to be given to young people. This is something that the county government says that it's been there, but we want at least to have a representative somewhere to know that we have youth applying for these tenders and getting them at that percentage of 30%. So there are some documents that have not been provided by the county government for quite some time, and they are very crucial in development and also following up on development. Some of these documents are the implementation report. And as a group, we requested that if an implementation report can be available at the website, this is something that has never been available in the Busia County website. At least we'll be able to monitor and keep on following the progress of development in Busia County. The other area where we wanted youth to be included was the boards. So the county boards, we wanted to have at least two, the male and female youth representing young people in the board. These youth, this category are basically male, female, and the people living with disability. So at least when we have two male and female representing us at the board, we'll be able to raise our issues and be presented very well. In employment, at least 1250 of the new employment included the youths. So basically, currently we have, the county government gives its people, the residents, 70% of the employment opportunity and 30% to the rest, to the outside people. But now we wanted at least 50% of the 70% to be youth within Busia County. Also, we wanted a desk at the health facilities. We realized that young people are struggling when they go to health facilities, maybe to try to address their issues. They're struggling with communication, basically because they don't have a person whom they can share their issues, basically on sexual, mental, and other menstrual issues. So at least if we have a desk for young people, for the youth, at every level 4 and level 5 facility, we'll be able to represent, a young person can be able to talk freely and maybe speak their mind when they go to an health facility. So we also wanted a paid internship. This is something that is not in Busia County, but I think it's in other counties, and it's very important for young people. We have a lot of people that have gone to universities, have graduated, but they don't have work. So this internship is very important and very crucial. We really need that at Busia County. We also, on the Youth Advisory Committee, it's just the same thing Group 1 tackled and talked about, and we also as a group feel like this is something that is supposed to be there. It's very important. We have a Youth Advisory Committee, and the Youth Advisory Committee will basically include all the youth representative employed by the county to present the youth interest in the county. So the Youth Advisory Committee will include all the youth that have been employed by the county to present the youth. And also the Youth Advisory Committee will be in charge of centers such as the innovation hubs, rescue centers, and cultural exhibitions to make sure that they are equipped, as in to follow up, and also pushing for development. Thank you.
What are the issues facing youths in Busia County, and how can the youth policy be a solution to the issues? On challenges, handling the first question, the social issues that came up were: one, drug and substance abuse, lack of exposure to youth affairs, high level of school dropout, early marriage among the youth and teen pregnancies, unfavorable youth programs not tailored to suit the needs of the youth, and gender-based violence, especially on the trafficking for sex. Down there in Budalangi, there is something called sex for fish. Alafu, as in continue on social issues, bado kuna hiyo mental health, inclusion of emotional, psychological, and social well-being, peer pressure and adolescence, and lack of youth-friendly services. On economical issues, we had unemployment, poverty levels, as was raised by Papa during the opening ceremony, at 86%. Inadequate and limited access to ICT services and facilities, engagement in illicit trade, Busa, Changa, Mulingilo, Kuber, Adera, and they fall in the 7 sub-counties. And lack of skilled youth in the county. On political issues, we had one which was very strong, political manipulation. We are always misused. Tuende tupige yule mawe, tunapiga. Huyu ametukosea, tunapiga, which is very wrong. In fact, should be 2 weeks ago, we were in the limelight that Busia has 2 gangs. Bulanda, inaitwa Bulanda what? Jobless and Bulanda boys. These are goons that are hired to cause damages for no good reasons. They're just being misused. On agricultural issues, we talked of limited engagement in agriculture and agribusiness training. We need more extension officers, hence poor farming methods. And climate change and uncertainties, variable weather patterns, you know, it has really affected form of planting season and what have you. On the interventions, there is need to transform agriculture sector to make it attractive to the youth, e.g. capacity building and training on modern farming techniques, climate smart agriculture, and agribusiness.
At the moment, and at Buhayo East, there is a talent academy which has been brought up by this footballer, Victor Wanyama. So I was looking in terms, in this case, if also county government could enhance partnership with such like investors, because already they're existing and there's no other framework or policy in place to ensure that they attract such investors to invest such facilities in other wards to tap into these talents. So it's something that also can factor in, given that there's no current policy in regard to that.
Comment on lack of skilled youth in the county. And I think when you talk about lack, it means we don't have any skilled youth in the county. So maybe I can, yeah, we can use inadequate or lack of enough skilled. And, okay, inadequate. And then, at that point, lack of inadequate skilled youth in the county, what we can propose for our government, our county government, for our youths, we may maybe provide free trainings to help these young people to get skilled. because you will not expect somebody to be skilled, and again, maybe this person cannot access those trainings, and some of them can't afford the trainings. Thank you.